Alright, Minecraft Bob Ross here. This video is going to be a little different from most of the things I do, because this one has one audience member in mind, my son Trevor. He's away from me right now. He's staying at his stepfather's, but I told him that I would make him a video to show him our world that he and I built in while he is here. And I'm gonna show him that world. So hey Trev, this is for you, buddy. So I'll show you some changes that I've made and the building that I made for you. But anybody else who wants to hang out and watch certainly can. There's a little tidbit, I guess, with bees that I could show off. I've been working with the bees since the Buzzy Bees updates. I can't say that I've mastered every nuance of that particular creature, but I have been pretty successful. Anyway, this is our base. As you can see, there's some new stuff. We'll go into that in a second. I collected those sheep we had talked about getting, so I've started a little sheep farm. Eventually we'll make this into a multi-colored sheep farm. It'll be pretty cool. There's your tree house that you built. My son, he's 7 years old as of now, and he built this. He just started playing Minecraft basically this year. And so, yeah, he's doing a good job for just having played for a few months. Little tree farm I have set up here. Someone wanted me to experiment with a large spruce tree farm. So I decided to do that. It also has the added benefit that when these grow naturally, or when you these mega spruce trees, or when you hit them with bone meal and they instantly grow, it makes the grass or any grass around them or terrain around them, this dirt-like or grass-like, I suppose, it turns it into podzol, which is pretty cool. You can silk touch that up, and it's good for a number of things. But for me, it's largely decorative. Anyway, yeah, here's our farm. I've expanded the size here of our base a little bit. But we have our chicken farm. This is actually our eggless chicken farm that we built. And I have a video on how to make these. That video that still works. So it's not an outdated game mechanic. And what it basically does is gets rid of all the eggs with hoppers. So when you jump in here to get XP by breeding and or killing chickens, your inventory doesn't get spammed up with eggs. Pretty cool stuff. Yeah, this is it. This is our stuff. Now, the new thing I wanted to show you is, you may have remembered, talking to Trev here, that I built that I started to build the foundation of a new building here. And I said I was going to build you a big house. Well, I ended up making it into what we call a greenhouse, which is a place where you grow plants or crops inside. It's mostly made of glass. I'll put a little design on this one. It was also a chance to start breeding some bees. So we got a whole bunch of bees here, right? And if we look at it this way, you can see that these are all but 2 right now are active hives. Every 3 bees that you make takes up another hive. So 5 or 6 more bees, and all of these will be hives that produce honey and honeycomb. Pretty cool stuff. Not that that's what I have it for. The reason that we have these set up is because the bees pollinate, like in real life. They pollinate the crops and they make them grow faster. Did you know that that's true of bees in real life as well? Which is why the disappearance of bee populations is actually not only an environmental problem, it's actually an agricultural disaster, right? Farmers depend a great deal on bees. As you can see, these guys, they go to the flowers, they get the pollen, and then they go around and they pollinate the grass. And it's basically, or in this case the wheat, it's basically like bone meal. It has basically the same effect that bone meal has. in slightly slower increments, but it's also passive. I don't have to do anything. I just leave these guys here to do their work, and they do it. Part of the reason I chose to build this inside was to keep the bees in. Although they should stay near wherever the flowers are, I still wanted to enclose it. So I was able to build you a house, buddy, or a big structure, but I was also able to give it a purpose. So that's pretty cool. These are my little buddies here. As you can see, there's some baby bees buzzing around too. They appear to pollinate as well. Pretty cool stuff. Now I put the flowers up here on this side so that they would tend to go towards this side of the greenhouse and not towards this other side. That way they will tend to fly over the crops and pollinate them and return to the flowers, right? That's what I was going for. It's not a, obviously they wander off over here from time to time. But overall, they stay on task and keep with what they're doing. Also, quick note, if you do one of these, you'll notice here there's a note that says don't harvest when bees are in the field, aka during the day. Water actually harms or damages bees in the game, and I guess in real life too. So at night, the bees almost instantly just go back to their hives, and when they're all in their hives and they're not out, that's when I pop that button and I harvest it, and literally reap the fruits of my labors, or in this case, the fruits of my bees' labors. Anyway, it makes it grow a good bit faster. I've had a lot of wheat farms. I've had automated wheat farms. I even made a fully automated wheat farm. But this baby here works really well. Maybe eventually, if I get some villagers, I might throw some farmers in here and set it up as an automatic self-planting wheat farm. But right now, I'm happy with it the way it is. Anyway, down here is the collection area for those hoppers. So all the wheat, when you hit that button, it all washes by water into this central area. Goes down into these chests. See all those seeds there? Isn't that nice? Eventually I can make a self-sorting system so that it sorts out the wheat from the seed. But right now I've just been sorting that out and stashing it here as hay bales. That's the reason it's all seeds right now. It's because I've manually handled it. But I have a way to make a self-sorter to do that. In fact, I have another video that covers how to do that. And to be fair, a lot of other people do too. Right now, what I'm working on for my buddy, for Trev, is I'm building a transportation system here, a railway that will ultimately go from my base to his base. We're at his base now. We've been building here, but this little ride doesn't go far right now. It's going to end up going about 2,000 blocks to get there, and it's going to go between our two bases. When I set his base, I found a good site for it that I thought would be a good place for him to build, but I also wanted it to be somewhat far away from my base. Now, my recommendation when you're building a long-range railway is build it underground. That way livestock and other things, sheep, can't spawn and get in your way when you're trying to travel. But also, you'll notice that we are at Y level 11, which is the best level for mining diamond, which I cover in another video as well. Not to advertise my other videos, but there it is. So this way, not only am I digging out my tunnel, but with a little bit more work just to get it down to level 11, I'm actually able to do some good diamond mining and everything else mining in the process. So in a way, like, a lot of this also ends up paying for itself because you're going to run into a lot of gold and iron ore, which is obviously instrumental when you're building one of these railways here. Gold ore for the powered rails, and iron ore, obviously, or iron to go into the normal rails. Let's ride it back up. Basically, about every 200 or 300 blocks, I'll build a little more rail so that I have a nice, quick transportation system to get back to the build site. I just sort of build it as I go along. Do some good mining in between. Pretty cool stuff. And I thought this, in addition to looking like a greenhouse, I thought it looked kind of like a cool little, I thought it would make a cool little railway station as well, since it has a nice open look. I'll probably end up building some things over here, maybe put a little storage area, a little base type area here, but at the same time I don't want to get in the way of just this nice sort of massive, literally overarching look that I've given it. That's what I'm working on. And so when that's done, that'll go to my main base that I normally build at. You might think this is my main base. This is actually my son's base. And most of his builds are here. We'll look at some more. This is his area. We can walk through that. Again, remember my buddy is just learning Minecraft for the first time. So these are some of the very first things he ever built. You might think back down memory lane, no matter how old you are. And you might remember building some things like this too. There's his name. He puts his name on it. Oh yeah, we took out some raiders, got their banner. Go ahead and take a nap here in this very wide living room, or bedroom rather. Get a little claustrophobia. Yeah, and this is his thing. He's actually gotten a little bit better at building since the time that he originally built this, but that was one of his first things. I built this tree house for him. Pretty cool. He built it with me. We worked together on it. I'm going to replace that with wood instead eventually, so it blends a little bit and looks more like a tree house. But for now, it is what it is. This might be the very first structure he ever built here, was this little diorite building. Oh, there's one of my pieces of scaffolding hiding in there. Been looking for those. And I built this little house for him when we first built this base. I built this for Trev, for us to have a place of operation. I guess it's kind of, I don't want to say obsolete, but you know, compared to the things we're building now, it obviously is pretty simple, but I like its simplicity. I'm happy with that. Sometimes I like to do that in survival mode, just keep everything simple. I haven't really done much decoration work to this vault. This is my typical vault setup. But I do want to do something with the floor and ceiling to make it look nice. We have our enchanting area. Remember, I'm talking to my buddy. I was teaching you how to enchant here, right? We have our enchanting materials and all of our different chests that hold different kinds of books. We have swords and weapons here. Over here are enchantments for tools. Here's enchantments for armor. And these are just going to be random storage chests, and I haven't really assigned anything to them yet. Got our anvil and our crafting table. Everything we need right here. And I guess since they updated a few months back, I guess I could put like a grinder in here too, although I don't use those too terribly often. Anyway, that's the base. There it is. That's our stuff. Not much here yet, but we're always building and always making it better. And yeah, so that's the thing. Anyway, I hope that you've enjoyed it, and I hope you've enjoyed seeing some of my little guy's builds, and I'm looking forward to sharing more of his builds as he continues just to get better and better at playing Minecraft. And he's getting better by the day. He has a good teacher, so there we go. But I'm still learning. I'm still learning new things every day. So that's what makes Minecraft a great game. There's always a new way to do something, right? Anyway, this has been Minecraft Bob Ross. As always, my friends, I wish you the best, and I wish you happy Minecrafting. Take care.